And welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. It is the biggest story in baseball right now, even bigger than the World Series, as the World Series is about to start. Tony Vitello, the best coach in America at the University of Tennessee, has taken the managerial job for the San Francisco Giants. Joining us now is his father, Greg Vitello, a former Hall of Fame coach at DeSmet. Coach, good to be with you. How are you today?
Hey, I'm terrific, and thanks for the green onions. Loved it.
All right,
man. Really good. Thanks for.
Right off the bat, when he first called you with the prospect of this happening, when did he do it, and how shocked were you because he's got the best job in college baseball?
Yeah, that's a lot of questions right there. Leaving Tennessee was a big deal, really a big deal. He was kind of a rock star there. We, as a family, really enjoyed going there. But I think with the process that's going on now in college sports with the NIL and the portal and even the recruiting business, it's just become almost unbearable for coaches. I think any coach in America would probably tell you they don't like it. They got to play the game, but they don't like it. Mm-hmm. And I think you start adding these things up, and then you look at the perspective of what's going on in Major League Baseball. I just think it was very attractive for him, and I think that he was looking for another challenge.
Really cool. This is Jill Farmer, by the way. Really glad you're with us here today. Greg,
you,
tell us what I just want to know as a dad, to know how passionate your son has been about this sport and to know these conversations are happening, and then it actually happens. He is going to be a Major League Baseball coach. What's that like?
Well, you just said it. I keep saying that over and over again. In my mind, he's a Major League Baseball coach. For all the years we sat and watched the College World Series together, going from, he was 8 years old, we're watching the College World Series, and then all of a sudden we're standing on the field after he wins the national championship was just surreal. And then, you go to all these Major League Baseball games. I'm a product of Chicago. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. I lived at Wrigley Field. I mean, that was the thing to do, to go to Wrigley Field and watch. My favorite player was Ernie Banks. And, just to go to a Major League Baseball game. Then as it progresses, to watch his former players play in the big leagues, you're just thinking, wow. Again, using the word surreal, it was just, how is this gonna happen? And boom, all of a sudden, here it is. We're there.
So before he made the final decision, did you guys have a long, hard conversation about it? Are you a consultant here?
You know what? Really, no. I think he's his own person. He knew what he wanted. I think simply my biggest question was the autonomy in the game. How much are you really going to control? And I don't think he was really worried about that. I think that he was more not so much worried, but I think he was concerned about that next challenge. What's the next step for me?
Even though he's extremely fiery like his father, his rapport with players is really, really good. I'm wondering, how do you think that dynamic will even have to evolve from, coaching 21-year-olds to managing 29-year-olds?
Well, I don't think it's really a big deal. I really don't. He mentioned this the other day. He said, I was looking at the rosters of the two teams that were playing, Toronto and Seattle, and he said the majority of those guys were really 28 and under. And he said there's no problem relating to those guys. And those other people that are older than 28, they're professional athletes. You know what? And if they can't maintain a relationship with another adult, then there's something wrong there. But I don't see the big deal. And I know that seems to be media's concern, is How does this guy relate, to all these, major league egos? And I don't think that's a problem. And I think that his personality is such that that's not going to be a problem.
Very good stuff. Greg Vitello is joining us. If you're just tuning in right now, St. Louis and Tony Vitello, we are very proud to report, is going to be taking on coaching job with the San Francisco Giants. Very exciting for everybody in St. Louis, of course, watched his career. I got a question for you just about coaching and philosophy in general. Abby Wambach has been all over the national news recently talking about this idea that parents' over-involvement with youth sports and with kids' sports, whether it's clubs or anything else, is creating a crisis for kids being able to experience the benefits as young athletes in their world. And she's saying things like every parent needs to drop their kids off at practice and never stay. And every parent needs to let their kids participate in multiple sports. And we just have to go back to a different time when it comes to the way we think about youth and sports. As a Hall of Fame coach yourself, is she off base here? Is she behind the times, or is she right?
She's 110% correct. She really is. And the idea of dropping your kids off and moving on, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but that really needs to happen. I think I'm not sure if you guys are familiar at all with Greg Olson, and he's got a podcast that he does, and his podcasts are just fantastic, and they deal with the exact situation that you're talking about. Leave these kids alone, allow them to mature and grow with basically their sport and their peers, and they don't need to be coached after they're coached. Meaning the parents don't need to coach, the coach coaches them, if that makes sense. It's just, I think it's just the wrong direction. I, for one, people came to me and said, well, why aren't you allowing your son to just work on soccer, just work on basketball, just work on baseball? My son played 3 sports in high school, and he loved every minute of it. He loved going to practice every single day. That made his high school career. And then I think that's what high school is all about. I think that's what sports is. Being able to participate without pressure and being able to be with your peers and have fun. And that's the big thing right now, is to have fun. I know a lot of times people will say, hey, did you have fun at practice today? Or did you have fun at your game? And I think it was great. It was really good. But I don't think it is for some kids. And I think that's where, I hate to use the word burnout, but that's where burnout takes place. There's just too much pressure when they're too young, and they just say, I can't do this anymore. I need to find something else.
Speaking of your son playing in high school, I know I've asked you this before at the old station, but I think it's such a good story, and it gives us great insight into what a team player Tony was at a young age. But tell me the story about some type of district championship setting. I'm not sure if it was either baseball or soccer, or where you forgot to put him in the conversation afterwards. Coach, are you there?
I think we lost him.
We lost him. All right, let me tell it real quickly. His son, I think it was a soccer game, and it was a big district championship game. His son was not starting, and Coach Vitello was so wrapped up in the game itself, he realized at the end of the game, he forgot to put his son in. And he's in the car, and he's just heartbroken that he's done this. And he apologized to his son. And then Tony, at maybe 16 or 17, said, Dad, it's okay. It wasn't my day. And that's kind of gives you an idea of what kind of kid he is.
And this is the family, of course, you've known for a very long time. So I have to ask you, what is it like for you to know that Tony's made it to the big leagues?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I don't know if our town has produced a kid that went to a St. Louis high school to become a major league manager.
You mean in like a long time?
Yeah.
Right? Because like Yogi Berra managed.
Of course, I don't know if you could argue he didn't really go to a St. Louis high school. He didn't go to high school.
But he was,
but he's from here, yeah.
From here,
Yes, he's a St. Louis and
this
again.
is This is pretty groundbreaking stuff. And, the age thing that I brought up, and that's what everybody's talking about. Boy, he can yell at these kids in college, be a different story. But, Jill, if you are the absolute best, it's secretary at the Belmont, it's Reagan Mondale, nobody's even close in terms of recruiting like this guy is. And recruiting is about relationships. He has, in addition to his great baseball knowledge, the ability to connect. And that's why I think, they're not going to beat the Dodgers. They don't have the talent, but I think he's going to be a successful.
Yes, you have more knowledge in one of your eyelashes than I have in my whole body about baseball. But it is interesting. There seems to be just the headline talk that I hear is it's all about money, who you can buy. You're going to win based on the most amount of money that you have, and or it's all about the data analytics. It's not really a game of people anymore. And then you hear about the things breaking down. They all have to do with people and not being able to manage people and not being able to get along with people. So there's this part of me that, I don't know, I'm trying not to be old school and say, kids today, AI, blah, blah. But I am saying people who are good leaders and good inspirers and good humans tend to be able to make good things happen. And so let's believe that's going to happen here. Yeah. And he's going to be wildly successful.
Relationships, getting along with people. It's true in every profession. By the way, great suggestion. Earl Weaver, Beaumont High School. And Earl actually went to that high school. So.
That is so great. And you guys have written in with some other great texts that we're going to get to, talking about candy stripers, some real tips on some extremely cheap gas prices right now. We'll tell you that right after we get back. But first, speaking of great people doing great things, Park Provence, our friends, doing excellent work when it comes to taking care of seniors who are in need of memory support. A lot of research is happening right here in St. Louis at Washington University that's very exciting at Alzheimer's, potentially looking long-term at cures, at getting to people who have genetic predispositions with some interventions early on that is keeping them from having the more severe versions of Alzheimer's and the more severe progressions of it. It's very exciting. And one of the people, of course, who's leading the charge in terms of doing great work in geriatrics and gerontology, David B. Carr, who, by the way, happens to be the medical director at Park Provence. So if your loved one is there, you better believe they're going to get the top of the line medical care using the latest research to be able to slow down their dementia progression and get the best support to help them thrive as they get memory support at Park Provence. It's time to, if you're noticing memory issues, if anything about this is resonating with you, whether it's a neighbor, a loved one, an aunt, an uncle, a friend, a spouse, reach out today to our friends at Park Provence, which is 314-542-2500, or visit parkprovence.com to set up your appointment.
Black Friday savings are underway at appliance discounters. Take an additional 5% off any sale price. Speed Queen, GE Profile, Cafe, Bosch, LG, Frigidaire. It applies to all the brands. Next day delivery and installation, interest-free financing, locally owned, and the largest appliance retailer in St. Louis. 5% off any sale price, 6 locations: Afton, St. Charles, Baldwin, South County, and Maplewood, or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Want to get away in your own hometown? How about Innsbruck? Just 45 minutes from St. Louis, 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, 18-hole championship golf course, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Wedding venues, wedding weekends, corporate retreats. They've got A-frames and tree houses and custom homes. Find out more at Innsbruck-resort.com.
It's Sarah Haynes from The View. Today's stronger immunity and better nutrition are more important than ever. That's why Eggland's Best gives you and your family more. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best provides 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, all helping you to maintain a strong immune system and better overall health. Plus, you get all that farm-fresh, delicious taste. These are no ordinary times, so why choose an ordinary egg? Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right. Welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show. We're going to have our weekly special brought to you by Kuna coming up at 11. Mike Colombo from Fox 2 will be with us at 11:35. Some very nice texters out there. Stations with the gas stations with the cheapest gas include Costco's, the one on Olive Boulevard. That gas is always packed, too. No wonder. Sam's Club in Maplewood, Mr. Fuel in Peevely, Phillips 66 in DeSoto.
Yep, and they are reminding us to use Gas Buddy, which is online at gasbuddy.com, because they'll give you the cheapest prices. And he said it's worth driving sometimes for a 40-cent gallon savings. So the lowest, he said, or they say, is at Circle K in High Ridge, $2.28 a gallon. That's awesome. Really, really good. Lots of you also talking about being a candy striper at a different time in life. Somebody from the 314, I was a candy striper at DePaul Hospital in 1986. They had the best food in the cafeteria, and I got a discount. Somebody else saying they had a candy striper Barbie doll. And I love this one, Frank. 636. My dad had a brain tumor in the early 80s at SLU. So my mom became a candy striper while he was being treated, and that way she could be there as well. Somebody else saying in the late 60s at City Hospital, we had candy stripers, but they couldn't touch any patients. It was just doing things that were related to things that didn't have to do with direct patient care. So, and then this person said they painted murals on the pediatric wing walls. Very cool.
I don't know if you got this. I think it was Mark Dorsey who may have alerted us of this, that many companies are planning on a big shift on remote work in 2026. Companies plan to increase in office work requirements for 2026.
Yeah, the trend continues. It was there in 2025, and it's just a couple of percentage more that are doing it. Although Wall Street Journal reporting as well that there's another move toward younger having trouble with a brain drain on younger employees who are seeking out of some of the big corporations that have moved moved away from that. They're seeking jobs where they can have more workplace flexibility and at least have a hybrid schedule. So
that's kind of the problem, right? Unless they literally all decide to do it, there will always be one company that we'll give you 3 days at home, and then they'll get the better employees that want to do that.
Didn't we have one of our guests in here talking about how he built a big office and make sure his employees come in there all the time? Yeah, he said
he wanted to have more, more space and get back more people in there. And then I do a lot of consulting in my other hat in my coaching practice, and boy, it's industry by industry. It's in many cases employee by employee. Many people are more productive when they have that regimen and that schedule. And those of us who are of a certain age, we're more used to it. But other people in certain industries, for instance, like law, Frank, billable hours are up in firms that provide a lot more flexibility, because when you take the commute out of the, somebody's hour and a half commute out of the equation, and you get to build that adds up to a lot of dollars. So most of them are like, you do whatever you want to do, because that's our revenue is increasing with this flexibility. So
here's the actual stat. 28% of companies this year require employees to be in the office 5 days a week. 13% require in-office work 4 days a week, and 28% require 3 days a week. I have two children who are not required to be in the office at all. The three, and two
they're
really great companies,
and they're pretty incredible earners and pretty incredible employees for them.
I don't know about that. I think they're slackards, but
their companies don't. They have big jobs with big companies, so I think the data proves you a little bit wrong on that one.
We'll take a short time out. Cafe Amalia next in-house.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor with Capital Advisory Group. Now, more than ever, having a tax strategy to protect and grow your wealth is an absolute must. Every Saturday, Josh Gilbert and I will discuss how you can keep what's yours, because the most important part of your wealth plan is your tax plan. That's Keep What's Yours this Saturday afternoon.
Capital Advisory Group presents Keep What's Yours with Jeff Zufall and Josh Gilbert this Saturday night at 9 on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Ladue, Glen Carbon, University City, Edwardsville, Manchester, Wood River, Grafton, and the world.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. An NBA player and coach were arrested today, along with more than 30 others in a nationwide gambling takedown. U.S. Attorney Joseph Noselis says Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat allegedly gave inside information to gamblers.
The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses.
Also arrested, Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, an NBA Finals MVP as a player. Prosecutors say he worked to attract players to fixed poker games that were backed by the mafia. Those players were then cheated.
The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants.
A lawyer for Rozier said he'd already been cleared by an NBA investigation, and the prosecutors are relying on, quote, spectacularly incredible sources. It's day 23 of the government shutdown as lawmakers don't appear closer to a deal to reopen the government, and some federal workers like Courtney Bush are closer to more financial problems.
We are approaching our first full missed paycheck, so I think that's when it's really going to settle in a little bit more.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio en route to Israel, where Vice President J.D. Vance just left, and criticized the Israeli parliament voting on annexing sections of the West Bank.
It was purely symbolic. I mean, look, if it was a political stunt, it was a very stupid political stunt, and I personally take some insult to it. The West Bank is not going to be annexed by Israel.
Illinois politician Darren Bailey's son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren were killed Wednesday in a helicopter crash in Montana. He's running for governor next year as a Republican. The current governor, J.B. Pritzker, says it's not a time for politics.
I cannot imagine losing a child, losing 2 grandchildren.
You're listening to ABC News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
55 degrees at 11:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Attorneys for St. Louis County Executive Sam Page are asking a judge to dismiss an indictment accusing him of misusing public funds to campaign on an election issue. In a court filing, Page's attorneys argued that the prosecution's case presents several errors ranging from false or missing information in sworn police statements to illogical arguments. His attorneys argue that the case manipulates facts to imply criminal wrongdoing. Earlier this week on another matter, Page held a press conference to express his opposition to a decision to double pet adoption fees at the St. Louis County Animal Shelter, which will start next Wednesday. Page says the upcoming change will hurt an already overcrowded shelter.
Now, recently we did have some legislation passed. There was some compromise legislation that will help us here at the animal shelter. And that's a good thing, and we're grateful for that. But the council still hasn't addressed our request adequately for holding more free adoption events in St. Louis County to help the animals find a better home.
Those that support the increase say it covers staffing as well as the rising cost of food and veterinary care, but Page says the larger fees will mean fewer adoptions. Meanwhile, on the same day that Page held that press conference, 30 dogs and a pony were rescued from a property in Fenton.
St. Louis County Animal Control took 30 small dogs and a pony from what was described as unsafe and neglectful conditions in a home in Fenton Tuesday night. The discovery of the animals came just hours after county officials said its shelter was severely overcrowded with 175 animals in a space usually meant for only 80. And adopting a pet will become even more expensive. The county council is doubling adoption fees from $40 to $80, despite the objection of County Commissioner Sam Page. The animals taken from the Fenton home are currently receiving medical treatment, so workers are hoping that people will make space for them by adopting pets at the current lower rate before it doubles next week. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
3 family members of Illinois' gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey were killed in a helicopter crash, as we heard on ABC News. Their son, his wife, and 2 of their children lost their lives in the accident in Montana. A 3rd grandchild was not on the helicopter. And first-year medical students at St. Louis University will lead an interfaith memorial service to honor individuals who donated their bodies to medical education. The service will take place tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 3 at St. Francis Xavier College Church. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The St. Louis area Boeing strike continues. Yesterday, the company presented the union with a revised contract offer after 2 days of negotiations with a federal mediator, but it ended without a vote. The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers called Boeing's latest offer disrespectful. And now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is up 32 points at 46,623. NASDAQ up 159 at 22,899. And the S&P 500 up 24 at 6,724. In sports, St. Louis City 2 has elected to once again play the lowest remaining seed in the MLS Next Cup playoffs. City 2 will take on Minnesota 2 Sunday at Energizer Park in the conference semifinals. And former Mizzou and DeSmet grad Tony Vitello is leaving Tennessee baseball to become the manager of the San Francisco Giants. We're looking for sunny skies through the day today, an afternoon high of 64. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low in the low 40s. Some cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of 62. At 11:07, sunshine, 55 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now,
Feed me Seymour.
I like to eat.
It's time for the Kuno Food Service Weekly Special.
Yum, 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 yum.
Right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, welcome back. We are excited about this segment. The new hot restaurant in Kirkwood, Cafe Amalia. Amy Pappas, the owner, is in our studio as we speak. You know, we've had some people who were maybe businessmen or businesswomen who branched off into the restaurant business, but you are the first dental hygienist who got into the restaurant business. How did this all evolve? Because it's an interesting path to this great restaurant.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, first and foremost. But the cafe was really born out of my love for food and hospitality, and I just wanted to share that Greek culture with everyone. So it came into fruition when my business partner, Bobby Baker, she hounded me. She said, I have this perfect building right next to my yoga studio that I think you should really highly consider opening a cafe. And I thought about it for a couple of months, and I said, Bobby, you're out of your mind. And then about 3 times after that, we were like, okay, let's go for it.
Wow, that's so great.
Yes, I stepped into the building, and it was the former Painted Zebra, and I looked around, and we're like, wow, okay. But then we turned our dream into reality. So here we are, 6 weeks into it.
Dream that really goes back generations.
Yes.
The name Amalia is an important one because of your family and your Greek heritage. Talk about what your inspiration has been and how it continues and what you're serving every day.
So, well, the cafe is named after it's my Greek name. I'm named after my grandmother, which is very, it's deeply connected and special to me. But this was all inspired, and my menu is really inspired from my childhood, just learning how to cook side by side from my grandmother.
So you're a dental hygienist, but you knew you were cooking, and you had this side catering business.
Yes.
And let's really tell the story because everybody knows the name Sansone. You're doing a party for them.
Yes.
I don't think they'll mind this. And they
Yes.
told you can do this.
Yes, they came to me out of one of my very dear friends that highly recommended me, and they love food and they're really into health and wellness, so they're just reached out to me, and it really kind of snowballed from there, and I really owe a lot of my success to them for giving me that opportunity and that chance. So I really am very thankful.
So what's the experience been like? Of course, you learned to cook from your grandmother. You love to cook. Your friends and family were like, we're so lucky we get this. You need to share this with regular people out with the masses, so to speak. Now that that's happening, you opened fairly recently, and you
Yes.
get to see the look on strangers' faces who are eating and tasting your food and your recipes and your grandma's recipes every
Yes.
day. What's that like for you?
Well, it's been overwhelming, in a good way, for sure. The community has been amazing. They've really embraced us since our doors opened. It's been just fun. It's been a great place to be seen and then cared for, I would say. But looking out into everyone, just having a wonderful time and chatting and just really interacting with each other is really what I was really after. Just bringing everyone together over good food and coffee. It's just it was my dream really come true.
Oh, the coffee, yeah. Brooke and Monique were gushing about the great Greek coffee you serve.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I have, obviously the classic frappe, but I do serve a Freddo cappuccino and just a regular Freddo espresso. So yes, those are really classics.
All right, you're open from 7 to 3 o'clock, Tuesday through Saturday, then Sunday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Correct.
Let's talk about some of the breakfast items. I know you have one Greek dish on the breakfast menu. Let's talk about that first.
Yes, it's the Dimitris Frida. It's my son's favorite. It was his favorite when he was a young boy. So it's just French fries enveloped in scrambled eggs with feta cheese and then fresh oregano and red pepper flakes. Really simple.
Wow.
But delicious. Okay.
Yes.
Best part about opening a restaurant, most challenging part about opening a restaurant.
I would say the best part has just been, it's just really fun. It's really fun interacting with people on this different level. When you're treating people as a patient, it's very different. This is a different way of.
They can't really talk back to you.
Right. This is a different way of taking care of people, right? I've always been a caretaker. But this is, again, it just kind of goes in a different direction. So that's been really fun. And it's fun just seeing all my friends, family, and my former patients visit me. So I'm really lucky that I haven't lost that connection with them.
Good. Challenging?
Challenging would be just sleep, right? Just sleep. I'm missing sleep. That's about it. My parents were in Greece for the last 6 months. They finally came back last night. So I'm elated. I am just so overwhelmed.
So they haven't seen it?
No, they
Oh my
haven't.
gosh.
We were a little bit
Look what our
behind
daughter's
schedule.
done here.
Yes, my dad came in already today, acting like supervisor, like this morning. So I'm just really happy to have some extra hands. And then, my mom is an amazing pastry chef, so she will help me in that.
Baklava?
Yes. So we're gonna have our pastry boxes for the holidays and trays all coming up. So I'm really excited for that.
Wow, that's good, cheap help too, right?
Right, free labor.
The name of the restaurant is Cafe Amalia. People want to know how to spell it. Amalia. The exact address is
10907 Manchester Road.
What do you buy that's kind of famous? You would be by what?
I am right next to Namaste Yoga, and I would say I'm on the west side of Manchester, so it's really kind of developing over there in that area. It's going to be fun. My business partner Bobby bought the building across the street. She's putting in a wellness spa there. I have Raquel Frisella up the street from me, so the spa's there. So we're just having fun. All us ladies taking over this area in Kirkwood.
And it's just a really striking building. It's a white brick and the black sign on it. I noticed it before you guys opened when I drove by. I was like, oh, what's that?
Thank you.
And definitely a great location.
I'm very
located.
lucky. My landlord has been amazing. Rusty's really done everything that we asked for. We couldn't be luckier.
So you have some great Greek specialties as specials on the menu, moussaka and pasticcio. But this Olympian stack looks insane. Tell our listening audience what this is.
So that is beef tenderloin. It is Havarti cheese, arugula, and it's roasted red peppers, and it is a lemon horseradish sauce. It's delicious.
How about your gyros? Either the salad or the...
Yes, I have my chickenito salad, and then my chopped chickenito salad's really awesome. And then I make the tzatziki in-house, so that's also very special. And I'm very lucky because I have high-quality ingredients and high-quality food. I think that's important to keep that consistency, and I have really great people around me to help me make that happen.
In fact, one of those, and this is very interesting, is your ex-husband, who is in the kitchen doing a lot of this cooking. Tell me about that dynamic. He's been good for you.
Yanni and I, we are a dynamic.
His name is Yanni?
Yes.
Does he sing at all?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't play any instruments either, but our children do. But he has just been my right hand throughout this whole process. He helped me open my catering business, and he is just amazing. He's awesome on the grill. He's just as equally as talented as a chef. So I'm really, really lucky.
And so, talk about how often you go to Greece,
Yes.
and was there a desire to bring what's happening there in food now as much as you wanted to sort of integrate your grandmother's recipes as you talked about earlier? How'd you decide on what to put on the menu?
That was really hard. It really was hard to kind of narrow it down. But, I needed to be good to myself and to my kitchen help because, you can, it's endless, the things that you can choose. But I really chose very simple 5 things for breakfast and, nice mix of things for lunch that you could be good or bad in the cafe. You could be healthy, and if you wanted French fries, you could get French fries. So, but yeah, it's been fun curating that menu.
So, characterize the amount of people that are coming in. You seat 99. How many have you done on a good Saturday or a good Sunday?
Oh, at least the turnover. You mean how many
total?
About 160.
Wow.
It's been fun. It's been busy. That's why I said I need some sleep, guys. But
That's
finally
great.
we're finally getting into the groove, right? Where I feel like things are settling and it's been getting easier.
I got to go to Greece for the first time in May.
Oh.
I can't wait to go back. It was
Yes.
amazing. And we did a food tour on one.
In Athens?
We ate at some incredible restaurants in Athens, but on this one we were in Mykonos.
Oh, nice.
And they told us that the real way to eat a gyro is with French fries in it.
Inside. Yeah, you'll see Yanni. Sometimes he'll make his gyro, and then he put French fries in and everybody's looking at him. What are you doing, Yanni? And they're like, "This is how you really eat a gyro. You put the French fries inside there." Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. I'd never tried it before. Highly recommend it. It was
it's
amazing.
Good. That combo's nice.
It really is.
Another reason for your success is Kuna. They've been with you from day one. Tell me
Yes.
about the Bippen family and what they've done.
Oh, yeah. They have been really so helpful, and just really, because I have 2 main proteins on my menu, so I just really wanted to make sure that those were top. And so they really took us under and just really guided us and just making sure. I mean, there have been times where I'm like, Emily, I need chicken. I need chicken. So she would just hand deliver it to me, and beef tenderloin, because I I won't veer from those things. So they have to be high quality.
And that's pretty cool that Dan Bippen, the man who makes Kuna great, comes to your place all the time.
He comes all the time with his wife. They're lovely. And I just finally, I knew he was coming in, but you never really get to interact with everyone. But I finally got to sit down and talk to them personally the other day. So I was really happy about that. So I'm very lucky.
So you have a second to yourself. Hasn't happened yet so far, but just let's pretend. Let's wave a magic wand.
Yes.
You have a second to yourself. You're hungry and you want just the most delicious thing. And what do you crave most often that you would order off your menu?
Off my menu, I would probably, I don't know, it's so hard. I would probably say that I love mojito. I really do. It would probably be mojito. Yeah. My chicken's amazing, and my sauce that I use and the tzatziki, it's great.
And the Greeks really stick together in this town. Katina from Michael's, she's become kind of a mentor also.
Yes, she has. I'm very fortunate. She was in just the other day, had breakfast with me, she's checking in on me, making sure I'm okay. I cannot begin to tell you like all the love and support I have from all of the restaurant people. Like even Ben Parumba, checked on me the other day. He came in. I'm really I don't know what I did in my life.
Because they're all guests of the show, and we said make sure you know. We hear it over and over and over again from restaurateurs and chefs that St. Louis is one of the most united and supportive restaurant communities in the entire country.
Truly, they are. I mean, Tony Sr., he comes in all the time to check on me. He just will walk in. Yanni, I was sitting there one day at the cafe, and it wasn't open, and Tony Sr. came in, Mr. Bomarito, and Yanni's like, I have never seen you jump up and run to anyone so fast. I'm like, he's just the sweetest ever, too. Just, and Christy Ford down at Schlafly, Christy Schlafly down at Ford has been so helpful, helping me design the kitchen. I am really lucky to have all these people in my corner.
Okay, so the name of the restaurant, Cafe Amalia in Kirkwood, open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 to 3, Sunday from 8 to 3. Try the gyros, try the baklava, try everything. It's gotten a great endorsement from everybody who I know has been there. Thank you so much, Amy Pappas, for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a beautiful day.
All right, we'll take a short time out. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment. You fill out a health questionnaire form. You get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home. And then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners. And then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
The University of Missouri St. Louis is committed to providing top-ranked education. More than 80% of our students receive financial aid. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more and explore your financial aid options at more.umsl.edu.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. As you know, we sell a lot of classic, luxury, and performance vehicles. Unfortunately, there's no factory for pre-owned ones. These are hard to source, so I'm always on the hunt. You have a pristine classic, collectible, or even interesting modern vehicle? If it has low miles and in perfect shape, I want to buy it. I love Corvettes, Porsches, Vipers, V-Series Cadillacs, and anything unique as long as it's in excellent condition. I'll do some great trading too if you're done with your current vehicle and ready for something new and exciting. We have very attractive financing options for just about any situation too. Buying, selling, trading, just hop on our site, pick out your dream car, or submit your current dream car for us to buy.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Hey, the Bommarito Automotive Group is the #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online, see their entire inventory at Bommarito.com.
Want a song? Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Time check 11:23 already, rolling through a wonderful Thursday here on the Frank and Jill Show. I'm Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano, and Connor McCarthy here as well. You guys just need to know I'm sitting amidst greatness here. Our own Frank Cusimano has gone viral. The interview that aired, was it last Sunday, Frank?
I think it did.
And give us the context about the interview in the background, and then I'll fill us in on some of the stats.
Well, it was the anniversary week of the famous firing of Harry Carey by Anheuser-Busch. And Harry Carey was God with a small g, and shockingly he was fired. And he did this interview, this famous interview with Ron Jacober at Bush's Grove. And he insisted on holding a can of Schlitz to stick it to AB during the interview. Ron caught a lot of heat because Fleischman was in charge. Fleischman Hilliard, they were upset with Ron for airing the interview, but the interview became famous. And so we sat Ron down last week at Palm Health, where Bush's Grove used to be, in the exact room where the interview took place. And we kind of rehashed things, the whole why he did it, what was the atmosphere like, and then we put it up. We did a Sports Plus story on it with the help of a really good producer, Jacob Kurth, and we aired it Sunday on Sports Plus.
And it's the just that interview part of it, which is now all of you can find on YouTube. I think if you put in Frank Cusimano and Frank Jacober, it should pop up. 200,000 views. Apparently, a lot of those Chicago Cubs fans who still keep track of Harry Carey as well, and a lot of St. Louisans tuned in to hear that interview. And in context, I mean, a lot of stuff on there gets, maybe 100 or 1,000, maybe up to 1,000 views, and that's pretty good. 200,000 people tuned in for this.
Yeah, and it did have kind of a sordid angle to it, because many thought that the reason he was fired is he was having an affair with August the 3rd's wife.
And you had a picture of her. What a looker.
That was a good find by Jacob there, I'll say that, because you really went, let's see what she looked like, and just to add to the story. And, they all denied it, but they were divorced, shortly after that.
So you decide. Well, here's a little snippet for a quote of the day today. Here is a little snippet from that interview. Wasn't that good? I mean,
yeah. Boy, Ron's memory, too. He's 80 years old. That interview happened in 1969. He remembered every detail. And he was just at Channel 5 for 8 months at the time. And I credit the Channel 5 general manager, a man named Ray Karpowitz, for allowing him to air the whole thing.
Right. But at the time he said, he said, you did a great job, Ron. You were great. And Ron's like, well, just so you know, they're threatening to pull, AB's threatening to pull all the advertising from the station. He said, okay, we got this. We can deal with it. And they kept re-airing it because it aired, they aired it kind of uncut in the 6 p.m. news. And it was a
I could
big
imagine
news.
hustling back from Bush's Grove and then cutting the film and then just rack it and roll it.
I love the part, too, where he said we kind of knew where his watering holes were because, of course, Harry was well known to be an imbiber, shall we say, and that they guessed right at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And when I went to Palm Health the day before, they said, well, we could set you out on the terrace outside. No, let's... And the whole thing is like completely redone. And then all of a sudden we just stumbled across it. Wait a minute. This is the actual room. So they had like redone everything except that bar area where all this old mahogany and it was the exact same place. So.
Yeah, that was great. That was I would say that was a lot of St. Louisans in that era, special occasion restaurant. Of course, the fancy people went there, or like Carrie may have used it as a watering hole. But for a lot of people, that was an anniversary or, a milestone kind of place to go.
Did you ever go to one of those huts?
Did not go. Yes, we did one time when we were in law school, and one of the fancier friends at law school said, there's this great restaurant. I'm going to set us up. Let's all go there. We had no idea what we were getting into. I told the story previously, and it was well outside of our budget at the time as we were paying for law school on my salary. So it was a salad and water kind of dinner for us that night for sure.
It had to have been like those huts, the most romantic thing you could think of. I mean, they said that, I think I've mentioned this before, that waiters sometimes before walking into the hut. Can I come in?
There was a group of us, so there was no funny
Yeah.
business going on when we were there. But it was really, really cool. A lot of people sad to see it go. I went there and it was a grocery store for the short period of time before it was Palm Health. Well, it was cool. It was extremely expensive. Speaking of expensive, you need to take a small business loan out to shop there. But it's cool that it's still alive and well and attracting people because it's a neat building.
I was in that general area last night going to a restaurant, and there's a sandwich place, though. Is it called The Butchery, which is everybody like gushes about. You probably get like a corned beef sandwich for like $30 there.
I know. It's getting to be long gone are the day. I remember complaining when everybody was complaining back in the day at Fox 2 because whatever the meal deal special was went up like over $5 at Hardee's, and everybody was like, this is highway robbery. And what would we do for that, being able to eat lunch even at fast food restaurants for $5 these days?
Interesting. This is a question for our text lines. Arby's and the steak tips. I know sometimes commercials can be deceiving. Those steak tips look unbelievable. I'm wondering, has anybody sampled them?
Come on, you're not going to actually have them, are you?
I'm throwing it out there.
You're going to get
people.
steak from Arby's? That's...
But I tell you, the commercial is unbelievable. I'd love to know if somebody on our text line has tried it because it is a great, great commercial.
Please pre-sample that for us so we can get
they
your
also call them
restaurant reviews.
steak nuggets. So it's not even steak. I know steak tips are what they are, but they're calling them steak nuggets.
So they've got a little extra enhancement in there in some form that we don't want to know probably what it is. Okay, let's hear it. Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. Song of the day today. I was just struck by the fact that the great opera singer and tenor Luciano Pavarotti would have turned 90 years old this week. Of course, we lost him way too young back in 2007 to pancreatic cancer. He went very quickly. And you asked an interesting question, Connor, whatever happened to the three tenors. Remember what a big deal that was in that album and how great it was? And both Placido Domingo and Jose Carreras are still with us in their advancing age, but they are both still with us. But Luciano Pavarotti is not. So I thought we would listen to one of his great works as our song of the day today. I just had to wait till we hit the high note because that's incredibly hard to do, and he does it so beautifully. I can't remember how to pronounce the name.
Luciano?
That song.
No.
Can you see what it is, Connor?
Nessun Dorma?
Okay, good. How's all of our
Italian? I don't
Italian these days?
Did you ever see him with Barry White, Luciano Pavarotti?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. You ought to YouTube it. He also did something with Elton John. I love it when these like superstars that have nothing in common get together and they somehow make magic. But the Barry White one is the one I remember.
Maybe that will be a future song
Yeah, that could be
of the
all right,
day.
maybe we should come back with that on the way back.
You know how I love a collab for sure. And speaking of excellent collaborations, I have one for you. You and whatever you need done in your house to make it be great again, particularly when it comes to the basement and particularly when it comes to basement waterproofing. The collab that I think I recommend more than anything else is you and Woods Basement Systems. My friends there, the Woods, Rick Woods and his family, it's a generational business, still in the business, caring a lot. Their whole team, so many of their employees been there for decades, and that's a really good sign that companies treat their employees well. And the other thing that's a great sign is customers come back time and time again, not because they need basement waterproofing once it's fixed, but because they move to a new house or they decide they want things like an egress window in their house, or perhaps over time the driveway has settled and they need to have that leveled out so it's not a tripping hazard or causing damage to the car. They know that whatever Woods Basement Systems does, they're going to do it extremely well, and that's why they have such a high customer satisfaction rate. They have such a high customer rate, a high satisfaction rate, and a rating at the Better Business Bureau, second to none. WoodsBasementSystems.com. Give them a call today, 618-708-4055, and tell them we sent you.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio, proud supporter of breast cancer awareness and KTRS Pink. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Want to get away in your own hometown? How about Innsbruck? Just 45 minutes from St. Louis, 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, 18-hole championship golf course, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Wedding venues, wedding weekends, corporate retreats. They've got A-frames and tree houses and custom homes. Find out more at Innsbruck-resort.com.
St. Louis Union Station is adding to the family fun with 3 new rides in the outdoor wheel park. The Flying Louie is a swashbuckling pirate-themed ride that swings to 42.5 feet. The Locomotion is a train-themed roller coaster in the wheel park. And the Wave Swinger is a classic swing ride modeled after the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Plan your next visit to St. Louis Union Station to enjoy the new attractions with your family. For more info and tickets, go to stlouisunionstation.com.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Terman Contracting reminds us that early detection is the key to preventing breast cancer. Although the risk for breast cancer increases with age, all women are at risk. If you are over 40, have an annual mammogram. Under 40, have one every 3 years. This message courtesy of Terman Contracting in Jerseyville, locally owned. They are residential and commercial asphalt and paving contractors, also offering excavation and grading services and more. Give them a call at 618 498-7308 or click on termancontracting.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to laurenrisleyrealty.com.
And now, KTRS weather.
For one of those days with beautiful blue skies, but lighter winds today out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour and a high in the mid-60s. Very dry air. Overnight lows in the 40s, a little patchy frost in some outlying areas, not so much in the metro area. But things will be clouding up tomorrow, maybe even a few sprinkles around for high school football in the evening or maybe trunk or treats, and more rain possible over the weekend. In the First Alert Weather Center, I'm KMOV meteorologist Kent Earhart for the Big 550 KTRS.
Classic Pertzborn. His great humor. He had his last day on the air after a long and storied career at 2 stations in St. Louis and beyond as well. And the person who is stepping into those shoes, Mike Colombo, joining us now. How you doing? How'd you do on your first night of no sleep, Mike?
Pretty well, all things considered. I was in bed right before 8 o'clock. Didn't actually fall asleep until a little bit closer to 9. But as far as all the things that could have gotten in the way of me getting in bed at that time, it was smooth sailing last night. So fingers crossed moving forward.
Okay, good. You know, I used to work that schedule. I'm talking way back in the John Obel days and Victoria Babu,
Yeah.
and a lot of people remember. And then, of course, the great team that's still around. I got to work with everybody who's wonderful, Tim and Margie and Randy when she was there. I didn't have to be in until 4 a.m. back in the day. What time do you guys have to be in now?
Well, the show's producers get in as early as 10:30, 11.
Mm-hmm.
I arrive at 3 a.m. To be ready to go for the start of the 4 a.m. broadcast. So my alarm goes off at 2, and I'm at work by 3.
Okay, that's pretty good. I used to set my alarm for 3:45 a.m. to be in at 4. So I think your preparation is much better for sure.
So what about how does this affect family, Mike?
Well, at this point, we're still trying to figure it out. So I have a almost 3-year-old and a 4-month-old. So if everything goes right, it works out pretty well. The toddler's in bed between 7 and 7:30, hopefully asleep by 8. That's been a little off the last few days. Toddler's just a roller coaster right now. But I think, I think that once everything gets going smoothly and the kids continue to grow, I think it'll work quite well for a while to where we can get them to bed, and then shortly thereafter I can get in bed.
Yes, I have friends that work at all 3 TV stations on that schedule, and they said it's definitely good for the kids. Not always good for the parents in terms of level of sleep, but this schedule is a great one for being able to be a hands-on parent. You, of course, I'm biased. I love consumer reporting, and I think you do an incredible job, and you have done an incredible job. This is a different role for you. Let's talk about the transition from doing what you have been doing at Fox 2 to what you will be doing. What's that going to be like for you?
Well, I'll actually continue to do the consumer reporting, and that's kind of a question that I've gotten from some different people. And, you know, with that schedule, easy to assume that it would just kind of be a clean break. But one of the, I would say, perks of being able to do this job, and I think one of the reasons that I was considered was, you know, the ability to pump out content. And My goal is fewer, better stories, if that makes sense. So my hope is that I can kind of dig into some stories that I may not have had the time to dig into in the past. And on the other days, just trying to find timely consumer content to share that isn't necessarily helping, the one-off consumer who's having the issue with the contractor, but, just keeping the community aware of some of the, scam warnings or consumer trends that may be out there, but also still working to get reports on the air with, at the very least, weekly frequency.
So, Mike, obviously you're a quick guy. You've got great wit. We've seen you at MC banquets. You do a terrific job. But this is a whole, almost a metamorphosis in terms of your persona on the air, in that, look, when you're on the desk and you're talking about four-alarm fires in Festus, if there are any, as opposed to having some fun in that morning show, it's a whole different thing. And I imagine this transition is actually good because this thing in the morning is a lot more who you are as a person.
And I thank you for recognizing that. And that's something that I'm really excited about, because with a lot of the stuff that I've reported on, you've got to be a bit more buttoned up. I think this will be an opportunity for me to show my true personality a little bit more in an appropriate fashion, in a way that you just can't with some of that more serious content. So I'm really excited. And, being able to co-anchor with Blair Leday makes that even easier, because she has a great personality, and it just kind of brings my personality out a little bit. Same thing with Margie. I'm going to get to anchor with Margie a little bit tomorrow for the first time. I mean, I've just about anchored with everybody there is to anchor with at Fox 2, but I had not yet anchored with Blair or Margie or Ty. So I'm looking forward for those opportunities, and very excited to be able to, let my hair down a little bit, if you will.
That's fun. I think we can't have this conversation, Mike, of course, without talking about the great John Pertzborn, who so many people have woken up with for decades now and loved seeing him and his unique personality. And obviously, no one can be Pertz besides him. So I know you're not trying to go in there being just like him. But what about him as a journalism and professional do you want to take and carry on as part of that legacy, if you will?
Well, I think, first of all, I am incredibly fortunate to be able to replace someone who has such a great following and foundation. I mean, he and, so many others who he was teammates with, and those who preceded him, helped build the foundation that is Fox 2 News in the morning. So I'm grateful to be able to build on to a solid foundation, and to also get to take over for somebody who got to do it on their terms, and someone who was extremely gracious to me over the last several months as I picked his brain about what works and what doesn't, and how to handle certain things. And that line of communication is going to stay open, which is huge for me. But really, the fact that John could show his personality like we were talking about, but when it came to journalism and it came to the facts and getting it right and getting it straight and fair, like John could do that as well as anybody. So I hope and plan to carry on that tradition as well. And that's something that I think will make this transition easier for me, because I can follow in the footsteps of somebody who did it for decades.
Good stuff. It's Frank loves this day. It's all Italian guys all the time. We had Greg Vitello. Now we've got Mike Colombo. It's a good day around here.
Mike, you're destined for stardom.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I wanted to say it's a great opportunity to be on today. There was just a little bit too much to Smetlove. You had to get a Vianney guy on here to, add a little diversity to the broadcast today. So I'm grateful for that.
Now, Mike, I actually tried to go to Vianney, but my test scores were too high, so I had to go to DeSmet. So.
Oh, that's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded. Listen, I've got And I imagine this is true for you too, Frank, and so many other of your listeners who went to high schools across St. Louis. I've got some of my best friends are DeSmet guys and CBC guys and SLU guys, and Chaminade guys. So, it's a cool little thing that we have in St. Louis to be proud of where we went to high school.
Absolutely.
And to build those relationships.
And your school, by the way, is honoring Kyron Williams, retiring his jersey on Friday night, one of the great players in the NFL, a Golden Griffin proud graduate. So that's awesome. You guys have produced some great athletes. Mike, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on the transition to the morning. I know you'll do great.
Thank you so much for having me on. We'll talk to you soon.
Very fun conversation. And he's one of the many, many, many people that we've interviewed that said, oh, yeah, Frank, you probably don't remember this, but I interned or you were a real inspiration when I was thinking about this career. And Mike shared that with us in the past as well, which is very, very fun. Somebody else who we love having around and very happy to have here in St. Louis is the Medicare man, Ryan Raphael. He's a busy guy. He's maybe the busiest ever, he said, thanks to those KTRS listeners who have reached out in droves or relatives, friends, and others of listeners who've gotten the recommendation because they know Ryan's the best at what he does. And he is in the midst of the enrollment period. October 15th through December 7th is open enrollment for Medicare. If you are 65, going on Medicare, retirement's approaching, or you know somebody that is, you need to write down this number. It's Ryan's cell phone number. This is how approachable he is, even when he's wildly busy. He'll get back to you within 24 hours. 314-368-6808 or visit MedicareManSTL.com. For the right plan, call the Medicare Man.
St. Louis County Library will host the 46th Annual St. Louis Storytelling Festival from November 10th through the 16th. The festival will include performances by 9 nationally renowned storytellers. This year's lineup includes vibrant indigenous storytelling, beloved folk tales from around the world, compelling personal stories, and more. New additions to the 2026 lineup include a spoken word performance by the St. Louis Story Stitchers, an amateur story hour, puppet performances, and workshops on writing and storytelling. A complete schedule of events is available at slcl.org/storytelling.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Ever wonder what the KTRS Air personalities look like?
Well, now you can.
Now streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Sitting at home or at the office, you can now watch the Big 550 live. Just find the Big 550 KTRS on Facebook or 550 KTRS TV on YouTube. 2 ways you can see the hosts in all their on-air glory. We are live, local, and the talk of St. Louis. We are the Big 550 KTRS. Depend on it.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant has been a staple in St. Charles for 35 years. Our comfortable, casual atmosphere offers some of the best comfort food you've ever had. Customers might know our delicious breakfast, but you can have whatever you want, anytime you want, with our full menu 24 hours a day. Nothing warms your heart like Gingham's famous vegetable soup, and we can cater your event, too. If you like homestyle food and great friendly service, you'll love Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. 636-946 888-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show. This Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Wrapping up the second hour of the Frank and Jill show. Did you ever work early mornings at any point in your career? Did you ever fill in on the anchor desk or have that shift?
I did it for about 3 weeks, anchored today in St. Louis. I don't know what transition phase they were going through. And Mr. Shipley asked if I'd be interested in doing that, and I politely declined.
If you wanted to do it on a long-term basis after you did your 3 weeks?
There was just no shot. And
say more about why.
Just the quality of your life, and I mean, I could never get to bed at 6 o'clock. I could never get to bed at 8 o'clock. You know, I would probably have the same go to bed at 11, but this time you'd have to wake up at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You did that for a while, right?
I did. I anchored the midday news with the great
midday,
the late great Don Johnson for a number of years, and then with Kevin Steincross as well. And it was wonderful. My friend, he's a great human being, and so I was kind of the closest person to fill in when anybody else was on vacation. So I worked that shift about between 12 and 16 weeks a year. So it was really only part of the time. And so I always thought it was. And Victoria Babu, my good friend, would say, yeah, it's probably because you're just not used to it, because it just felt like torture for me to wake up at that time. I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now Mike's saying they get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just I never felt right. But then she told me later on when she retired, she was like, okay, now I know what you're talking about. Now that I've gotten back to a normal life, long-term sleeping, regular hours, it's like I was firing on like 2 of 6 cylinders. And now that I'm back to it, I'm like, yeah, we just kind of got used to functioning that way.
I wonder if it's true when people say that they did it for a long time, not like you did it, but I mean, let's say 20 years, if it does take time off your life.
Yeah, I mean the people who work a night shift. I mean that's where there's research on that. The people in healthcare and other industries that work a night shift, it does seem to have a long-term impact on.
Oh, you're talking about like 11 to.
Yeah, like the 11 to 7 shift in law enforcement. But you know, the people who do it and love it, I think they're just wired differently. So I got to think, you know, if there's a certain group of people. We had a great night photographer, Bobby Hughes at Fox 2, and he that's how he was wired. He wanted to be on that overnight shift. That's how he liked it.
Well, our friend Gary Frank, the meteorologist, he really actively lobbied for the spot because he can get out of there, I think, at 11 o'clock. I don't think he does at noon. He gets out of there maybe even earlier than that, and then he's golfing every day. So there's one perk to it.
Yeah, and I think it's individual. Some people do better than others. I mean, Pertz joked about going to bed. He never got used to going to bed at 6 o'clock, but I don't know. 6 o'clock is awfully early.
Oh my goodness, especially like in the summer, it's 6 o'clock.
Just broad daylight.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. McGraw will go to the Fox Theater. Carl Middleman, of course, Carl the intern who works that shift as well. He's out at the Blues games.
You know,
until
I really wouldn't put McGraw in with those other ones. You know, coming in at 6 is a little different than coming in at 3.
What time do you think he's waking up?
I don't know. He says he gets up early and like does some prep, but it's different to be in at 6 versus being at 3. That's what I will say.
You're probably right. Anytime, I would say anytime before 5 a.m. is a little beyond the body's natural ability. Although I know people that get up at 4:30 and are at their gym at 5 a.m. and that's just they've gotten used to it.
That's just the day to day. Yeah.
Speaking of the Fox, I'm actually going to see Nikki Glaser on Friday night.
Wow. Front row tickets? You going out to dinner with her ahead of time? You VIP?
No. but I have not seen her, and the guys, I have an idea of what kind of comedy we're going to be facing. I saw the roast. It may be a little too much for me, but I know she's very talented, and she's a St. Louis girl.
Nate Bargatze's got me
Now, there's a great comedian.
back into watching comedians, and I'm on YouTube. I'll watch Kathleen Madigan if I'm in a bad mood, and it just kind of helps shift things for me. She's so funny. And so John, that was my anniversary gift. Is he got tickets to go see Nate Bargatze in January here in St. Louis, and I'm really excited.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if she's a little bit raunchy, she's still very darn funny and very talented. You're going to have a great time.
So tomorrow, Chris Trevino is going to join us. He'll be pinch hitting for Howard Richards as we get ready for the biggest game of the year for Mizzou so far, and Lynn Venhouse breaking down movies and shows for us. And then we're also going to be broadcasting live from St. Mary's, a real St. Louis success story, how they've stayed alive, how they're thriving. Mike England, their great president, he'll be with us during the program. That'll do it for this edition of the show. Miss Buck, Mr. Carney, coming up next. We'll take a break and we'll be back in 22.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The NBA says Miami Heat player Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups are on immediate leave. They were arrested as part of a nationwide illegal gambling sting. Former Cleveland Cavaliers player and coach Damon Jones was also arrested, says ABC's Chuck Severson.
Billups and Jones used their status to attract victims to the poker game, says New York City area federal prosecutor Joseph Nacella.
Lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards.
He says secret card reading technology that predicted which player had the best hand was relayed wirelessly to a conspirator playing at the table who used signals to help other players cheat. Illegal sports betting was on NBA Inside Info.
That information allegedly distributed by Terry Rozier, whose attorney says he's already been investigated and cleared by the NBA. The Senate's voting on a bill that would pay government employees during the shutdown. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said he opposes the bill because the only solution is to reopen the government. He also criticized President Trump's trip to Asia, saying the country right now is staring into the abyss of a healthcare crisis.
He's flying off yet again to another corner of the world while people's premiums are set to skyrocket here at home.
President Pardon, the founder of Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, served prison time for failing to stop criminals from using the platform. He had previously asked for a pardon and has ties to the Trump family's crypto venture. Illinois politician Darren Bailey, a Republican candidate for governor next year, says his son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren were killed in a Montana helicopter crash Wednesday. Governor J.B. Pritzker today expressed his condolences, saying that it is not a time for politics.
You know, losing a child is, I don't know, one of the hardest things ever.
You're listening to ABC News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
President Trump put new sanctions in place on Russia over its war in Ukraine, says ABC's Rachel Scott at the White House.
President Trump has now announced new sanctions on Russian oil. These are the first round of sanctions that the president has announced since coming back into office. And the timing here is notable. It comes just days after that planned meeting between President Trump and President Putin was called off, and also after President Zelensky was here at the White House pressing the president directly for more long-range Tomahawk missiles.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said this will lead to higher oil prices, including in the U.S. A reliable gauge of the Texas economy comes at the annual State Fair in Dallas. And now that its 24-day run is over, operators did not like what they saw.
The State Fair of Texas has been an annual tradition since 1886, drawing as many as 2.5 million visitors. The problem,
when reality hits, traditions die.
Despite good weather, attendance this year was lower than it's been in a decade. UT Dallas economist Stephen Haynes.
It's not a lack of interest, it's a lack of disposable income.
Haynes calls it funflation, adding that it isn't just a Texas problem.
People are at their breaking point.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams is endorsing Andrew Cuomo in next month's mayoral election. Adams and Cuomo both beaten in the Democratic primary by frontrunner Zohran Mamdani, who says in a statement it's no surprise they share an affinity for corruption and Trump capitulation. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.